Here we go. I got what, 8 minutes until the bell rings. Let's see if we can do it. The secant of, well, all right, 5.2 trig test review here. Page 2. Sum and difference off of the unit circle. So no like nice numbers from last time. Instead, we're going to be looking at the fractions, and we had to do Pythagorean theorem a lot in this section and in this unit, really. So the first things you have to notice is the secant of A. They're saying, hey, it's in quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is over here. All right. Now, think back to your SOHCAHTOA stuff. Secant, what two parts of the triangle go with secant? Well, that was the hypotenuse and cosine, so that's going to be the adjacent, and that's a negative 24. All right, so you got to kind of keep in mind what direction on the graph you're going. That is going to the left on your ordered pair, on your coordinate grid, so that is going to be a negative number. Now, we have to do the Pythagorean theorem to figure out that third side. In the interest of time, I'm just going to tell you that's a 10. All right. So here's what I like to do in all of these things. I'm just going to go grab all of the angles. All right. So this is angle A. I'm sorry, grab all the trig ratios. So the cosine of angle A is negative 24 over 26. Right, the sine of angle A is equal to 10 over 26. And you can reduce that fraction down. I'm just going to leave it like that. And then the tangent of A is equal to 10 over negative 24. All right, there you go. So those are all your trig identities for angle A. The next one is saying angle B. All right, angle B is in quadrant 1, and the tangent of this one is the opposite over the adjacent. So we have a 48, we have a 14. All right, so let's run through the Pythagorean theorem again. 14 squared plus 48 squared gives us 2,500. Square root the 2,500, and you're going to get 50 right here. So this is angle B now. So the three trig ratios for angle B. We have the cosine of B. Cosine of B is the adjacent over hypotenuse, so 14 over 50. Again, you can reduce that. The sine of angle B is the opposite, so 48 over the hypotenuse, which is 50, and that one can way reduce. And then the tangent. The tangent is 48 over 14. Right, and they gave us that one, so we could just grab that one from up top. All right, now we're using the identities here, sine of A minus B. This is where you really need to use these identities. All right, if you don't have them memorized, right, just write them down so you have a reference. I don't want to keep flipping back and forth. So the sine of A minus B. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna write this all out real quick. The sine of A times the cosine of B. All right, the sign in the middle stays the same, so it's a minus, and then we have the sine of B times the cosine of A. All right, now this is why I like to write all of these out, because now we're straight up just plugging these in. All right, we know what the sine of A is. The sine of A is 10/26, so 10 over 26. The cosine of B is 14 over 50. All right, just be very careful when you're plugging this stuff in. The sine of B is 10/26. See, I almost made a mistake. The sine of B is 48. 48 over 50. I'm telling you to be careful, then I almost made a mistake. And then the cosine of A is negative 24 over 26. All right, and these two are being multiplied together. So now you could just throw this entire thing in your calculator. And as a matter of fact, that's what I'm going to do. All right, so if you want to make your fractions, so be it. If you know, fractions just division. So this is 10/26 is 10 divided by 26, all right, times, 14/50ths, so that's 14 divided by 50, minus 48/50ths, 48 divided by 50, and then times negative 24 26ths. All right, now that's ugly decimal. All right, I don't know what that is, but the calculator does. So just press math, enter, right? And that's going to turn it into a fraction there. It says 323 over 325. And that one's done. Right, there we have it. Now, the cosine of a plus b, if we were to get this one, this is in the way. All right, we'll do this one in blue. The cosine identity, that's the cosine of a. Cosine of a times the cosine of b. Cosine has the conjugate in there, all right? So the original is a plus, so that means the expansion is a minus. So then we have the sine of a times the sine of b. I don't think I'm going to finish this before the bell, all right? Cosine of a is negative 24/26. All right. Cosine of b is 14/50. Minus the sine of a is 10/26. And then the sine of b is 48/50. Again, just throw it all in your calculator. If you want to do the fractions instead, alpha y equals, enter. Right? There's your fraction. You got negative 24. Negative 24 on top, 26 on bottom. We are multiplying this. Let's do another fraction again, 14/50. Right, then we have minus another fraction here, alpha y equals, we got 10/26. Right, and then times one more, alpha y equals, pressing that a lot. The nice thing about doing it this way, I guess, is that it'll give it to you as a fraction, right? So if I press enter, it automatically gives us that reduced fraction. So negative 204. And there we have it. All right, we'll do one more here. The one in the video. So the tangent now. The tangent identity is the tangent of a plus the tangent of b. Right, so those signs match on top, but on bottom it's going to be the conjugate. So it's 1 minus the tangent of a times the tangent of b. All right, so this is going to get ugly. All right, so I'm going to go over here. Equals, we're going to have 10 over negative 24, right, plus tangent of b, which is 48 over 14. All over one big fraction, 1 minus, you got 10 over negative 24 times 48 over 14. All right, so you could do all that by hand, and we could, and I've been making my class do it, and they have not been liking me for it. Sorry, guys, that's totally fair. I shouldn't have done that. So here, let's make a fraction. So let me show you how to do this. Alpha y equals, you got a fraction, but we have fractions inside of fractions. So you see how like the top square is highlighted? What I'm going to do is I'm going to do alpha y equals again, and now I have a fraction on top. All right, so you have 10 over negative 24. Then I'm going to say plus, and then make another fraction. Then you have 48 over 14. All right, so that's the entire top. Now on the bottom, just make it look exactly how your written out fraction looks. Right? Make another fraction here. You have 10 over negative 24. All right, then this one is being multiplied. And then one more fraction. You got 48 over 14, right? We can do this. We can throw this in the calculator because it's all numbers, okay? If we had a variable in here, we'd have to do it all by hand, and that it's kind of a pain in the butt, or even a square root. If you got a square root number in here, your calculator won't recognize that. It won't rationalize for you. But these are all, relatively clean numbers. So just double check, make sure it looks exactly the same, right? So just compare them. I think we're all set. And then press enter. And there you go. You got 253 over 204. And there we have it. So that was, I'm going to end it there because I want to go home. So we'll see you guys in the next video here. I will get those uploaded shortly.